Ignacio and Pedro have joined us in the studio, hot-footing it back from the US of A. Hiya, guys. Good to see you.
Hello.
Well, it sounds like a good Easter.
Yeah, great Easter, actually.
So I guess you're doing more and more business now with people coming to Spain from the United States. So the idea of the trip was to perhaps, future look at things for the future, strengthen those ties with your counterparts.
That's right. We've been advising American clients for many years, but in the last 5-6 years, we have felt like a big increase on Americans coming to Spain to retire. And this is why we made this roadshow in order to visit some law firms in the East Coast and the West Coast, in Los Angeles and New York, in terms of having some collaborations. And obviously, there is one of the areas that according to the private international law, according to international taxes, and we need some collaborations with law firms in the world.
So people on the ground there who are up to date with as things change, and some things do change quite quickly in the USA at the moment. Yeah. I guess this was for you guys both to be sort of back out on tour. It's a little bit back. We talked about it in the past when you were both working in Britain and working whilst getting your exams done and all the rest of it. So you were both back out there in the world together. I can just imagine you both on the road show in the States.
After so many years. Actually, Pedro and myself, we study in high school in the United States.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you did? Right,
yeah.
Okay. Because I knew that you'd done exams in the UK, but yeah.
We went to the UK to study international law, but that was during the law degree.
Right.
So under the Erasmus program. But previous to that, we went, I think you went Connecticut, Pedro?
I went to the East Coast in Connecticut. It's a little town called Clinton, like the ex-president. Yeah. And you were in the West Coast.
And I went to the West Coast, and I went to Reno, Nevada.
Right, okay.
So, good experience.
So no strangers to the USA.
No.
Is it a long time since you were there then?
Yeah.
Has it changed? It might have changed dramatically since you were last
probably
there.
30 years.
Yeah. Probably a bit less, but yes, actually, I didn't visit LA as we did this time. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
We felt, to be honest, very, very good. The weather was very similar. The people were friendly to us. Very similar to Alicante province.
It's a bit more relaxed, isn't it?
Well, we felt like
back.
home. There is in Alicante city, many people we say that we live in California.
Of course,
Of that, yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, and it was great. We didn't have that great weather in New York. But anyway.
Yeah, that's not New York, is it? I'm afraid you don't get the Californian weather there, and I guess it's a bit different, isn't it? I mean, you're experiencing these two different cities, and of course, people. There's a hustle and bustle about New York, isn't there? I haven't been myself, but it's not like big cities. It's like the difference between the coast here and going to Madrid. Say you automatically feel that you're in a busier place.
Yeah. Actually, is very busy. But I would say traffic in LA is being incredible. 5 busy lanes on each side.
The highways was
like the movies.
Like movies, yeah.
It was real. So we had an appointment with the lawyers, I will say 10 o'clock. So we'll get I don't think they've got taxis. It's Uber over there.
Mm-hmm.
We use
mostly Uber, yeah.
Uber. And then some people will say 4 o'clock their time, rush hour. They say you better don't drive. Mm-hmm. And the picture was 5 busy lanes either way. So, but New York was very busy as well. We always did through Uber as well. But it was busy.
Yeah.
So, but it's different. It's different, completely different.
Say, big cities like Madrid, you go to Madrid, the dynamic, the activity, they say very dynamic. And then you move to, Alicante is like a small city. It's like things are in a different way.
A bit more relaxed. Maybe not so much over the Easter weekend because they were all here. It was like there was a lot of traffic.
We had to leave in Easter because it was too busy.
So tell us about the overall. What was the thinking? Why did you plan the trip to the States?
Well, that's why we went there in terms of we need to have collaborations with law firms, as we need some to have this confidence and collaboration with law firms. in most of the situations for taxes. Obviously, we work with international taxes. We work with the convention in order to avoid double tax in one country or another country. Also, we do it with different firms or different law in the world, like, for example, UK. And in the US, we didn't have like some like law firms specialized on that in order to, because we need to represent clients, and also we need to inform and recommend clients. Some law firm in the US, even though they are here, even though they are Americans, many times they ask us, "Oh, do you know a law firm in the US?"
Right.
That that in terms of how to work on the international taxes.
So you're looking for would the right word be affiliates?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure. I mean, the more clients you have, the more needs they have in the US. And it's worth having contacts just in case clients might need help or assistance, or they might need help in Spain as well, it was the whole journey roadshow was organized by us, obviously, but through the Spanish Chamber of Commerce.
I see.
Well, actually, it was Valencian Chamber of Commerce. And they help you to organize the appointments with interested people and parties. So it was quite useful, quite unique.
And what was the reception like from your US counterparts, the lawyers themselves?
Yeah, like suits.
Well, yeah, it was really good. I mean, we had appointments with really big firms.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously in Spain we have I think you mentioned the ratio of lawyers into a law firm in Spain is like 1.8 lawyers in one law firm average. Obviously, there was like we were meeting law firms, 500 lawyers,
wow,
200 lawyers, 50 lawyers. I mean,
the whole country, you can imagine.
It's in the whole, So obviously, we are in Spain. We are okay. We are medium size. We are not big. We are not small. Like 1.8, but obviously we were meeting with big firms.
Okay.
And
so how successful was it for you as a company?
Well, actually, it's great to get all these people interested to listen to us and for us to learn more from them. You never know what is going to be the return when you do all these trips because it depends on clients' needs.
Yeah, and subsequently the business comes in, doesn't it?
Correct. But we could say we were very happy, very positive trip. And I think it will bring future business as well. We're planning to do another one eventually because you cannot have the whole country in one go.
No, of course not. No, it's
and the jet lag,
difficult.
It was terrible.
Oh, I don't like that.
We arrived, I think, 6:30 in the morning in Madrid. And then the day was a nightmare.
Tell us about how do costs compare between yourselves here in Spain and the lawyers in the States? Are they charged a lot more?
Yeah, it's completely different worlds, especially if there are just focus on different type of high-end clients, but the hourly rate over there, it could be, it doesn't exist here pretty much, But yes, but everybody is where he is, and depending on the market.
So obviously, the cost of living is high, a lot higher than here.
Yeah. I mean, you could spend money there easily renting, especially in New York. I heard the other day renting an apartment on the third floor, because obviously, depending on the
higher up you go, the better view you have.
But I think they say $4,000 for an apartment with one room.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, in the middle of
we
downtown.
better stop complaining.
No. We're better here, aren't we?
Okay. Now, of course, as you mentioned, we've been seeing more and more Americans move here. I guess you were dealing predominantly with rich Democrats, I suppose?
Well, you never know.
You never know.
We never ask who they vote.
Okay.
Sometimes we speak about politics. Sometimes, obviously, appears this situation.
I guess this would have come up when you were talking to the law firms.
And we don't really care if someone is favorable to Trump or not, or rejecting or whatever. But obviously, we receive sensibilities on what is going on, what's happening in the US.
Why people are leaving.
Exactly. Why people are leaving, why people is coming. Obviously, many of them are coming because of Spain and Europe and Southern Europe, like Portugal, like Spain, Italy, Greece. Those countries are attracting and more Americans.
Well, you get more money for your dollar. Don't you? I thought you get more for your dollar if you go to southern Spain. Than perhaps in northern Europe. You do, and also the weather's better. Especially for the Californians, you don't want to be moving to northern Europe. Perhaps on the weather front.
I think in the past they were moving some South US or maybe California, or Florida, but obviously the cost of living is a lot higher. Even though the taxes are here higher. In many occasions, there are some other taxes there that also are high, like some property tax on IBI, the Suma bill. We are impressed about when the clients tell us, okay, well, I pay per year $12,000 of a municipality property tax. I say, well, I pay 600 or whatever it is. So there is some difference, but obviously the cost of living is they compare and say, well, I can go to the restaurant every day here in Spain and have a bottle of wine every day if I wanted to. And we have clients that are doing that, and they are having a spectacular life right now.
The cost of living, I think if you are a retiree here, is much cheaper. And it's because clients just tell you, and then you compare, and they cannot afford to, when they retire, sometimes they say, well, it's too much, They all say the same. So if you're going to retire, go a happy place, cheaper place, nice weather.
Security and good hospitals.
So I guess drumming up not just business, but drumming up colleagues who can help you deal with the regular transition, which we feel is growing, isn't it, of Americans from the US to Europe. And let's talk a little bit about the politics. What did you find on the ground? I guess you were moving from place to place, so you got a good idea of perhaps what the high-end people, the rich earners and the rich lawyers are talking about, and how they feel about the early days, let's say, because it still is of the new democracy, or it's not the right word I was looking for there, but the new government anyway. Let's put it that way. And of course, then as you travel around, you get to interact with lots of other people as well. You said you were using Uber, so I'm guessing there are people from all walks of life that you were talking to. So what was the impression? Because in Europe, it looks like all hell's breaking loose, doesn't it, from here, if you look at it but I guess that's not the situation at all, is it?
I think we really felt that there was not a big issue. I mean, you will see some people being embarrassed by their president, and you will feel that in the cafeteria or even the waiter. But you will get all these taxi driver, Uber legal immigrant now, because he was from Dominican Republic or Peruvian, that they said they wanted Trump because there was so much crime. Basically, that was more about they didn't feel protected. So you'll get all these two messages.
And they feel more protected now?
I mean, obviously we receive inputs from here in Europe, in Spain in this case, and we thought probably the immigrants there, they were like feeling some insecurity position because they are immigrants or not.
No.
I mean, what they want is someone very hard. They want someone with discipline. They want someone who do not want the crime, and once economy goes up, probably. I mean, they wanted that situation in order to increase the welfare. I mean, in terms of economy, security, education, and they feel that Trump is going to do it that way.
And COVID, it was another important, especially in New York. COVID did really hit very hard business. They said that as well. So that something that really was mentioned by the people.
Really? It's still talking about COVID.
Yeah. And with regards to lawyers, we didn't talk about politics, but obviously you could see that the change of laws, we could feel that there is a change, right?
Well, I mean, certainly, because the courts have been struggling to keep up, really, with the changes of legislation by the new administration. That's the word I was looking for before. And certainly some of them are only just catching up now. So, I think there is a phrase, isn't there, particularly in the States, where it's the lawyers who always win.
But we just... with regards to the taxes, we talk a lot about international tax treaties, immigration. We explore a lot, and they were aware that the golden visa disappear, even though they're going to install it over there. Yeah,
there is a golden visa coming up in the States.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it was announced, but obviously we asked to these some of the lawyers that works on immigration. That is been announced, but it's not been written. It has not been approved. But it's a visa where you invest 5 million euros in different kind of investments, and then you get a visa for, go back and straight forward. Which in Spain,
there'll be plenty of takers, won't there, for America for that?
In Spain was 500,000 euros or 1 million or 2 million, depending on. But now it's in America. I understand, and this is my feeling of what they were saying, that it's going to attract many multimillionaires because 5 million euros is not a small amount.
Drop in the ocean for some people, and I'm sure that is the sort of things that Mr. Trump was talking about, and when he was vying for office, wasn't it? Getting the right people in the country and the wrong people out. So we've certainly seen a lot of that situation. So the people that you were talking to are mainly sort of immigration lawyers and people who were involved with taxes and so on.
Yeah, cross-border topic is first immigration and tax. Mm-hmm. Then later on is buying a property and invest, but that comes second. Mm-hmm. But people normally... and then we managed to visit as well the Chamber of Commerce in Spain. Mm-hmm. That was in LA. The sworn translators as well for the non-lucrative visa.
Right.
Everything needs to be translated, etc. So we got to know one of them.
It's the first point of call, isn't it, for Americans who want to travel to Spain to come and live here? They have to go to the Spanish authorities in the country that they live in to get the paperwork that they need.
We didn't visit San Francisco. I think it would have been interesting as well. Neither Texas. But we can leave it for next trip, yeah?
Oh, no, the next trip's being planned already. I like it. Yeah. So it's interesting, isn't it? The different views from the people that you were talking to on the street, and then those in the high-rise buildings in their law offices. And I guess you probably had more this time to deal with, with lawyers at the top end of their game. Is it very much like what we see on the TV? Is that really what it's like?
It is. Actually, the law firms we visit, I think we went one to the 63rd floor. 63rd floor, I think. And there are just beautiful offices. I don't know whether they're hidden working in somewhere else, but they're spectacular.
Yeah.
It's a straightforward process, not always easy, but it can be done quite straightforward for Americans to make the move.
Do you mean the relocation?
Yeah.
The soft landing? Mm. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think they're quite well educated to seek for advice. My recommendation is always to seek for independent advice on relocation, but lawyers more than companies, you see, because you could work out a specific question to your topic. For example, am I going to pay wealth tax or income tax? Mm-hmm. Good question. How long is it going to take me to get the papers, the immigration visa, non-lucrative visa, nomad visa? So you really need all these answers to your specific, not just bobbing the bar. No, it's too expensive, that, to be honest. I think, I could only tell you about our clients. Our clients just, we get the people who make the consultation and ask questions. I don't know whether there will be more brave people coming over without anything. It could be expensive.
It could be very expensive. I mean,
you need to plan before you leave, basically.
Exactly. And ask the questions that you may have, and also receive some questions from us that may not occur in that time, because obviously
you're dealing with it all the time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Once we have a conversation with clients, then we arise things that they never thought about that, mm-hmm. and then obviously we need to put that situation in terms of discuss it and see what are the consequences of one or whatever it is.
And you're not, if you're living in another country that far away, you're not immediately going to think, right, okay, I think I've got enough money to be able to survive if I go and retire there. But until you actually know the ins and outs of how all the taxes work and the rest of it, you won't really know, will you?
No. You need answer to your specific questions. And that's really the value for it. And we're doing a lot of video conference, mm-hmm. especially in the afternoons after 4 o'clock Spanish time.
So, with the time difference.
Yeah, because is 9 hours and 6 hours. So it's a lot, to. But they get up very early. Sometimes we even they're at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to talk to us.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but yes.
But you take people from they're thinking about the idea about moving to Europe. Then you're there right from the beginning with these are the first steps you need to make right the way through to the end to coming to Spain, and then
that's exactly
getting property and getting taxes sorted.
Yeah, exactly.
So they normally. Will make you questions about the specific income tax return, which is now, by the way, the time.
Yes, of course. We'll talk about that in a minute for those that have been living here.
And the wealth tax, because they get scared with the wealth tax. And, the wealth tax is worse, the name, than the tax by itself in some position, in some cases. Most of the Americans, they have the Roth IRA, and unfortunately, because it's not Europe, is not being... So it should be included in the wealth
as the 401k, which is an investment product. And yes, you're correct. If they plan, they understand what is going to be the scenario whenever they move on taxes, or obviously, firstly understand what kind of, let's say, visa, non-lucrative visa, or maybe
which one's visa, right for every. Okay. It's not always the right one for everybody, is it?
And that situation perfect. Then the taxes comes and the investment comes. Then maybe they want to also protect the investment they've made. Those situations come obviously into the conversation with the client in order to plan that.
And of course, buying a property.
Yeah, that comes afterward. Most of the Americans, or in general, they like renting first to try to understand the area, because otherwise
it's a good idea to do that, because you perhaps might not be a right fit for you. You may have thought you wanted a town, and which a lot of Americans do. We find move into the cities, but then if you realise that perhaps isn't for you, you've still got the option of going somewhere else if you haven't committed yourself to buying a property already. So
and that's basically, so the number one is the tax, number two, or the same immigration and tax, and buying a property or renting. And then after that, the inheritance tax, planning, the wills, everything.
Having access to the public system and health.
The health system,
Yes, we touched on the health system, which I know from a number of Americans that live here have been, astounded by the quality of the healthcare that they've been receiving since they've come to Spain.
That's right. We receive a lot of inputs on that, and obviously the cost. And when we say the cost of a private insurance, because whenever at the beginning when they start, they have to instruct a private policy. So we inform the cost, which is not for us is not like a low amount, but a little amount. So. But whenever we inform them, they say, in my country, I pay that every month. So it's like per year, they pay that in a month. So the difference is quite big. And then once they are here 1 year, they have access to the public health system, which is, let's say, 160-something euros per month after you are 65 years old. And after 5 years is less than that. So the health that they receive is a lot that what they may receive in the US. So it's for them, it's like paradise, really.
Yeah. But the feeling we went to London recently as well. Obviously, pretty much similar to do a show in London to find out probably law firms who will assist clients as well.
And lots of Brits still moving, despite Brexit and all of the things we went through with it. More Brits are still moving here.
Yeah. And actually, speaking to these people, they were saying that the UK, the clients just say the UK health system is nothing to compare to Spanish. So the British clients, they say the health system in Spain is very good. We are more critical, probably. And I would say for serious things, the social security is very good. For efficient or for fast approach and things, the private is better because it's more efficient. So the combination of both is great.
If you could do it for both, perfect. If not, just...
Yeah. But this is the same feeling we're getting with British clients about health. And I think the health, the weather, and that's basically what really motivates them.
And certainly for people coming from the States, the cost of living difference
correct.
is major. Perhaps not so much for Britain as it used to be before. It was a lot better, wasn't it? If you remember back in the day. But yeah, like I said, still lots of Brits coming here as well. Let's talk about taxes then, for those that have been here for the required period, because they're due, aren't they, shortly?
Yeah, I mean, from beginning of April until the 30th of June, they have to declare worldwide income if they are residents in Spain. Residency means that you have to live in Spain more than 183 days per calendar year. Calendar year is from 1st of January to 31st of December. Okay, so there are some criteria between double taxation treaties between Spain and UK, between Spain and different countries, in order to organize if you are really tax resident or not. Obviously, the general criteria of 183 days is compulsory. It's a general, obviously, but it's something that is to start is a must.
I mean, even taxes in your own country are difficult to kind of get to grips with and work out. And I think for foreigners living in Spain, to have the knowledge that you've got a tax advisor who deals with these sort of things all the time to help you is really the best way to go.
Yeah, what is important is not to pay, obviously, in your home country and pay in Spain. Or where do I have to pay my income, my taxes on my income? Well, the double taxation treaties, they tell us what you need to do. Sometimes it's difficult to interpret it, but obviously you don't have to pay in both countries. Or maybe sometimes we have clients, whenever they come to our office, they say, okay, well, you shouldn't be paying in your home country, you should pay in Spain. Or sometimes you should declare in this as an annuity, because you don't have to declare all the income. It's just a small base.
Actually, that knowledge that you have, because you deal with it all the time, you end up saving people money.
Exactly, that's right.
Well, people need to realise that the tax office is always there. So the best way to do it properly and to save money is seeking advice. So they might end up, I mean, when you're a bit negligent on not doing your homework, then it might cost you money. And that's difficult when the bill comes. So we're very used to these things to try to help people when they have problems. We prefer them not having problems, but they need to contact us before they have problems. So you'll get all this variety. So for those who stay 183 days or more, I mean, from January, the 1st of January to the 30th of December is their time to seek legal advice on this, tax advice. And even to see, depending on where they live, if they live in Comunidad Valenciana, they will be seeking for advice on wealth tax as well, if applicable.
So this is where we get the difference between the different communities and regions, where they should be slightly different. To
be honest, it's a sliding scale. Actually, today I was doing one simulation for a client who was, especially if you're getting paid from these international companies, you're getting a lot of money.
Because we do have that situation more and more now with the nomad visa, so that is happening quite a bit more, isn't it?
Well, the nomad visa is you could apply for a very good tax regime, which is 24% up to 6 years. So
just for the salary, not anything else, any other income.
So for instance, if you have a property in the UK and you're earning money from it being rented out, you still have to declare in the UK.
In the UK, but you will only pay and declare in Spain on income from work worldwide, and the rest you'll be treated like a non-tax resident. So it's a very good. It's 24% only.
It's a special regime, but it's not just for normal visas.
Nomad visa depends on your status.
Exactly.
It's for foreigners that being out of the. Well, if you've been out of the country more than 5 years, and then in general, if you get a salary or an income more than 50,000 euros, it makes sense. But you need to make it very, very good, you see. You know why? Because tax office is always after everyone. And if you do something wrong, they could look back.
How far can they go back?
4 years.
Right.
So it could be a big bill. If you pay 24 and you would have paid 48, we're talking about double plus the interest, plus the fines. It's bankrupt.
There's interest and fines involved as well.
Correct. So I think it's something that everybody needs to do their own strategy, to do their own things properly, This is... So
if somebody's retired, say, for instance, do they need to pay tax?
Depending on their income. depending on their pensions, depending on their investments.
And what they own perhaps elsewhere in the world.
Correct. Is worldwide. So, and depending on their treaties. Every nationality has a treaty with Spain. So...
And depending on your age, you have more benefits or not.
More allowances.
Yeah, more allowances. So it depends, obviously, but at the end, general criteria is you live here, you are resident in a country, in this case in Spain, you must declare your worldwide income in Spain according to the double taxation treaties.
Okay.
And with regards to wealth tax, you need to budget 300,000 euros allowance per person on property, and then after that, 500,000 euros allowance on assets. After that, it's a sliding scale where you could check in our website when you click
I'm
wealth
on that
tax.
page.
Well, wealth tax.
I can't just do this from memory.
So just in case you were wondering, Carl.
What I would say is actually it's very straightforward and you know all the detail is there as to what parts might apply to you and very easy to understand and work out with each particular step of the way and each particular part of tax, wealth tax and inheritance, as you were just talking about there. But of course, as we said, at the outset, taxes are difficult to do in your own language anyway, and so for people who are living in Spain whose Spanish isn't perhaps as good as perhaps we might like, then you certainly need a little bit of help, and always worth getting in touch and finding out, isn't it? Rather than be sorry and find that the tax man still wants more from you.
They always do.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Okay, thanks very much for coming in, guys. Hope you're over the jet lag now, by the way.
We're fine.
We're fine. We're right now fine.
It took a little bit.
Back in a couple of weeks, AlicanteLawyers.es, if you want to look at the issues that we were talking about there. If you go to the website, AlicanteLawyers.es, you'll see tax and fiscal services and all of the different issues surrounding tax involved there. And of course, you can always get in touch with the guys. All the contact details on the website, and that's AlicanteLawyers.es. Thank you.
Thank you.